Choose mangoes, don't let mangoes sour. Choose friends, don't let you love your husband. If one day you found out that your best friend's child was having an affair with your husband, what would you do? Our heroine is a beautiful girl. But you have already said it, and the pink is doomed. Her best friend and asshole husband had cat that bronze chicken while she had terminal cancer. Today is the first day in a series of days of G1's time travel, and she didn't have much time left. At the darkest times of her life, she blamed herself for why she was born and was so miserable. G1 was orphaned by both parents at an early age. For the same reason, G1 is always mocked by his mother-in-law whenever he is in a crowded place. Less than a year into her marriage, her mother-in-law thought she was infertile. Because my son is a true grandson. So marrying without children was something she couldn't accept. All day she was just thick, G1 was useless, and her child couldn't give birth. The husband was weak and did not make any moves, but let his mother push and torture his wife. Shortly after Minghua quit, he planned to spend all his time investing in stocks. This means that G1 has to shoulder all the living expenses in this house. G1 blames him for why it's such a big deal without discussing it with him. Minghua is angry why I have to discuss this with you. Saying a lot of words, Minghua jumped into his mother's lap lying like a baby boy. G1 works all day and night alone, with no time off. For this reason, her health situation dropped shockingly, without breaks. That day, like many other bad days, G1 came home tired. Minghua sits on the sofa playing games and blames G1 for coming home from work later. G1 asks her husband why he stayed at home without drying his clothes if he didn't wash it. He had to know the way to dry it. The husband started complaining that he had been working all day and that his wife was tormenting him. Suddenly, G1's stomach hurt so badly that she couldn't stand upright. G1 goes to see a doctor when he learns that he has terminal cancer. G1's condition has reached an alarming level, waiting for the day to return to the elderly. The mother, who knew about this, had no grief whatsoever, and said that poor son took the wrong one home. Minghua feels that his mother is right. He is really disheveled when he marries G1. G1's husband only cares who will cook rice for him in the future. The mother heard this, and comforted her son without worrying. She deliberately speaks loudly, people have to work to not get sick. Now that technology is very advanced, it won't be okay. Then she asks G1 what he thinks. By the time she was seriously ill like this, her mother still wouldn't let G1 quit her job, reminding her to go to work until she couldn't go anymore. Just thinking about it, G1 couldn't stand it anymore. During his treatment, Su-min regularly visits the hospital to visit G1 and cheer him up. Because of Su-min's actions, G1 appreciates her and her husband's family has never visited her. In return, G1 is taken care of by Su-min's best friend. Su-min's high heels attract G1's attention. After G1 finishes chemotherapy, the man tells G1 that her guardian must come before she can receive further treatment to pay the hospital fees or take her home. G1 tries to call her husband but only hears the headline. G1 helplessly sends a message to her husband. Minghwa's later life, G1 took care of it, but couldn't Minghua pay her the hospital bills. Even so, G1 didn't get any response from that family. G1 has no choice but to be helplessly discharged from the hospital. She decides to go home to talk to her husband. The taxi driver sees that G1 is sick and encourages her to get better quickly. G1 also doesn't think much, she recounts her situation in detail. The driver comforted her to follow his path to the end to ascertain the outcome. The driver suddenly turned the car to the left and took the other road. After the car passes through the long tunnel, a forest of cherry blossoms appears in front of G1's eyes. G1 looked at the forest in front of her in amazement. As soon as she entered the house, she saw a pair of red high heels. G1 realizes these are So-min's shoes. She slowly enters the house when she sees a noise in the bedroom. So-min compliments Minghua for being smart. How to know in advance to buy insurance for his wife. Minghua agrees to say that her father is also a cancer patient. Sooner or later she will suffer. Just buy one just in case that happens. G1 is surprised to hear that her husband and best friend sell her out like that. Their intention is to wait until G1 dies to use the insurance money to buy a new house. So-min feels that G1 lives too long and plans to strike one step earlier. Hearing these words from his best friend, G1 does not dare to believe that this is true. Only when he sees his father's photo smeared, G1 can't help himself anymore and rushes into the room to catch the match. She intends to report the crimes of these two unvirtuous villains. Minghua has no fear because in his eyes she is no longer worth anything. So-min sits in front of G1 and reminds G1 that, after all, G1 will die thinking only of himself. After hearing this, G1 angrily beats So-mi, who sees this, and pushes his wife aside. G1 was harmed in this way by her husband. However, the heavenly man with eyes G1 traveled back 10 years ago. G1 just woke up, she saw her close husband standing in front of her. He wrapped his arms around G1's waist. G1 was so scared that he grew up. G1 angrily grabs whatever she wants and throws it at the scumbag, then grabs his hair. Just when the scumbag is about to go crazy, the two are separated by director Ji Wing. She riots and almost falls to the floor. Fortunately, Ji Wing catches her. At this time, Ji-won pays attention to her hand. She finds that the burn and pinhole are gone. Ji-won sensed that something wasn't right. She immediately looked at herself in the mirror. At this point she knew she was no longer tormented by illness because she was too scared to step back. She carelessly dropped the pile of things on the table on the floor. Just as the super speed kettle was about to hit her, Ji-wing once again saved Ji-won. Looking at the two men who killed her, Ji-won was scared from the bottom of her heart. She opened the door and desperately ran out. She accidentally bumps into a man when she is about to fall down the stairs. Ji-wing appears in time to pick up Ji-won. In a short time, Ji-wing saves her 3 times. It seems that this is no coincidence. After a while, Ji-won's emotions also gradually stabilized. She took advantage of this time to look at everything around her. She was surprised to see that the billboards were all written in 2013. Ji-wing helps Ji-won pick up the shoes after a while. Ji-wing takes Ji-won home and gives her some cash. After going inside, Ji-won immediately opens the fridge to see. She looked at the production dates on some products, all of which were 2013. She starts rearranging the furniture in Ji-won's house, making sure 2013 is not a dream, and she also knows who Ji-wing is. He owns the food corporation and finances. In a few years, he will be succeeding the family business. Ji-won can't help but wonder if her soul really travels to the past. Suddenly, she remembers the cash Ji-wing gave her, then she puts the money under the tray. One of them has a heart on it, and Ji-won remembers that the taxi driver gave the bill to her. Thinking of this, she couldn't help but burst into tears. It turns out that Ji-won's father always writes chest brackets on cash. He thinks it's love, which means he will do whatever his daughter wants. It seems that her father has given his daughter another chance at life. Ji-won cannot control her emotions. She bursts into tears. Suddenly someone opens the door to the house, which is none other than Min-won. The two go to a pub. Min-won asks Ji-won why she is pregnant. At this point, Ji-won remembers that she can't eat anything, so she thinks she is pregnant. In fact, gastritis caused by too much stress. Ji-won hasn't even answered the question. Min-won tells her that she is no longer young if having a baby now is going to be a career. Ji-won will even become a housewife. He wants Ji-won to have an abortion, and about the cost, he will pay half. Because he doesn't get any benefits, he really doesn't want children. If Ji-won hadn't died once, she might have believed his words. She says she wasn't pregnant at first. Min-won was happy after hearing about the illness. But then his face immediately changes. Ji-won proposes to break up with him. After saying that, she gets up to leave. Min-won immediately stops Ji-won. He thinks Ji-won is pregnant, so today he tries to restrain himself. He asks Ji-won why he wants to break up with Ji-won, knowing he is a maniac, so she loudly calls for help. After a while, the two were taken back to the police station. The police just wanted the two to reconcile with each other, because they didn't want to care about the couple's quarrel. Min-won keeps acting very lightly. Instead, Ji-won becomes unreasonable and causes trouble. Finally, at Ji-won's request, the police take her home. After arriving home, Ji-won just wanted to leave immediately. The account balance is only 710 won. Now she remembers, because she's afraid of breaking up with Min-won. She did everything he asked. He took a lot of her money, used her cards and her cash. With the situation like this, she cannot run away with the amount of 710 won at this time. She receives a message from Min-won, who apologizes to Ji-won. He also said he would buy her a bag as soon as the stock went up and then get married. Ji-won suddenly remembers that Min-won's only success in life is buying stocks, so she plans to invest in advance to overcome her current difficulties. The next day, Ji-won went for a checkup. The results showed that she currently has only mild gastritis that has not progressed to the level of cancer. Ji-won is happy because he wants to improve himself even more. Ji-won has read a lot of books. Ji-won runs into Ji-wing. She gives him a meal, as if it was a thank you for helping her. Suddenly, Ji-won sees the scar on Ji-wing's hand, the same shape as her scar in 2023. Ji-won couldn't help but be a little suspicious, something she didn't think much of either. After finishing her meal, Ji-won said goodbye to Ji-wing and went home. Tonight Ji-won wrote down the things that she will give up after marriage. The next day, Ji-won sees Min-won at her company because she avoids him and climbs 10 floors of stairs. After sitting at her desk, she invested the money in stocks. Suddenly someone startled her and turned out to be her best friend Soo-min. She asks Ji-won why she ignores herself. Ji-won thinks and tells a story. A woman with terminal cancer saw her husband and best friend in bed. Oh, that friend is worse than her husband. How could she do that to her best friend? She's going to die anyway, so maybe she thinks that's okay. After hearing this, Soo-min tells Ji-won that if she dies, Ji-won can take everything from her. But if Ji-won dies, so does she. Ji-won can only suppress his anger. Manager Kim calls Ji-won to ask about it. He thinks Ji-won's project is bad. However, Ji-won learns that after her project is denied by her manager, Kim, Soo-min will suggest wanting it without changing a word. Thanks to this project, she became a full-time employee and was even promoted. After being yelled at by manager Kim, Ji-won was trying to counterattack when he saw Ms. Jong walk in. Ji-won knows that Ms. Jong is a very capable person. Manager Kim prevents her promotion, so Ji-won decides to establish a good relationship with her. However, before she could speak, Ms. Zhang was called away. Zhang straightened the cup down on the edge of Ji-won's desk, remembering her life. But Miss VY left the cup untouched and carelessly tripped over the box. Due to the bump, the knee has a bruise. Thinking of this, Ji-won decides to give it a try. This time she succeeded in preventing the cup from dropping. She couldn't contain her excitement. As she walks outside, Min-won follows Miss VY to avoid him. Ji-won speeds up. She accidentally bumps into a small cabinet instead of Ji-wing, who promptly pulls her back. She rushes to the bathroom. Ji-won doesn't understand that her leg has hit the cabinet. It felt exactly the same, but there were no bruises. Ji-won didn't think much of it either. Min-won came to her again. This time unluckily, she bumped into a tree that ended up with bruises on her leg. Ji-won realizes that she avoided it but still can't avoid it. Thinking of this, Ji-won is a little afraid that if that is the case, she will have to be horned by cancer and killed. But the scar on his arm was indeed gone. Back at his desk, Ji-won receives a screenshot from Min-won. He sold off his stock to return it to Ji-won, and also said he bought TKU technology. As far as Ji-won remembered, TKU was a well-known pumping tool. Spies executives have fled abroad, stocks are being contaminated. Min-won sold the stock and bought TKU also bought the stock and Min-won sold it. Just as Ji-won is thinking about it, she sees the scar on Ji-wing's arm. The knee should have been bruised from the coffee cup, but it was from the tree. Thinking of this, Ji-won finds a way to save himself. Whatever comes will come. It just needs to happen to someone, and the best candidate is Soo-min. Ji-won says he has some sense to throw away. She asks Soo-min to do it for him. Ji-won didn't say this in front of Soo-min. You coveted my garbage that you just took away and married my husband. Ji-won needs someone who steals his destiny, and that person is none other than his best friend Soo-min. This morning in the elevator, manager Kim saw director Ji-wing. He deliberately loudly scolds Ji-won for working hard. Soo-min hears her voice and counters Kim's manager, saying Ji-won works very hard. Then emphasized the coffee cup in Ji-won's hand. Manager Kim heard this and criticized Ji-won for going to buy coffee during work. Seeing that manager Kim keeps being careful, the dissatisfied Ji-wing throws a punch to the wall. Then Ji-wing calls Ji-won to the rooftop. In fact, he was worried that Ji-won would feel embarrassed to drink coffee in the office, or being made difficult by others. That's why he did it. Just as Ji-wing is about to ask Ji-won out for the weekend, Soo-min suddenly appears. She and Ji-won went out to eat at a barbecue restaurant this weekend. After a while, Ji-won brings painkillers to Ji-wing. Unexpectedly, Ji-wing splits the pills in half, and he tells Ji-won to take good care of himself. However, the scene in the office is seen by Min-won. He immediately takes Ji-won into the warehouse to talk. He suspects Ji-won is in love with Ji-wing, so he breaks up with him. Ji-won doesn't even have time to say the bastard warns her Ji-wing is young and he's the manager. So don't think he has power. He blames Ji-won for thinking too shallowly. Ji-won is lazy to explain but is afraid that he will cause a lie. She lied that she broke up with him because their relationship wasn't what it used to be. I don't know what I don't want to say. Min-won has been tricked into believing it's real, but they need to kiss to erase their previous feud. Just as Ji-won is about to attack Min-won, Jong suddenly opens the door. Min-won leaves in a panic. Ms. Jong says that even unwanted physical contact is a bad thing. In fact, Ms. Jong is just remembering her past and regrets it a lot. She hopes that Ji-won doesn't make the same mistake she made. Watching Ms. Jong leave, Ji-won wondered if Ms. Jong had come because she was worried about herself. Soon it's time to eat. Soo-min offers to eat with Ji-won, but walks beside the bastard Min-won. Soo-min goes to the bathroom and then goes out to get food. Ji-won sees that she takes a lot of food. She remembers how Soo-min deliberately knocked her down before, even spilling food on her face. Just as Soo-min is about to cause trouble, Ji-won quickly changes his game, deliberately setting her foot, expecting her to bump into Min-won. This bastard deserved it. Ji-won walks over and apologizes to Soo-min and reminds her that this designer shirt is very expensive. Soo-min panicked after hearing this. She couldn't even afford it. Ji-won stood up contentedly and said that he was going to find some tissues. Actually, this is just the first step in her revenge process. Suddenly someone in the toilet said they desperately needed tampons. The woman then repeatedly thanked Ji-won. Ji-won stumbles upon the woman's pants that are already dirty. Ji-won thoughtfully helps her hide the stain. This action makes the woman even more touched. Before Ji-won and someone else came here, she asked that person to help her. But the person who keeps asking for each other is none other than Soo-min. So all four of them sat down at the lunch table together. Soo-min laments Hae-jeon overeating. At first, Hae-jeon doesn't understand what Soo-min means. She can only explain that women and men have to eat a lot to do big things. However, after Soo-min learns that Hae-jeon's grandfather is selling some items such as tofu, bean sprouts, her attitude immediately changes. Ji-won said that Koreans who live off Hae-jeon rice are very happy after hearing this. Soo-min's face is not happy at all. She moves to insult Ji-won, eating a lot of edible anything. Min-won is amused. After hearing this, he thinks Soo-min is right. However, Soo-min blames him for not saying it to Ji-won. Hi-Jon also realizes the relationship between the three. Min-won says Ji-won is lucky to have a friend like Soo-min. Ji-won, who was eating, couldn't help but choke. So Hi-Jon stood up and went to fetch Ji-won water. Soo-min tells Hi-Jon to get it for herself. Why should I get it for her? You're gone anyway and for me too, because you're going to work anyway and you're doing my job. Ignoring Soo-min Hi-Jon's reaction to fetch water, Soo-min can't help but blame Hi-Jon for being a child. Ji-won candidly states that although Hi-Jon is young, he is her peer. Seeing Soo-min and Min-won's surprised expressions, Ji-won realizes that he has overstated. She grabs the door and goes back to her office to ask Min-won to have lunch with Soo-min and notices her. Ji-won goes over to apologize to Hi-Jon, not expecting Soo-min to be so rude. At the same time, Hi-Jon learns that the woman ignoring her in the toilet is Soo-min. Later, the two return to the office. Soo-min feels very jealous after seeing this. When she and Min-won return to the office, she emphasizes that Ji-won is probably angry because the shirt pretends to be guilty. Min-won immediately comforts her. At this time, everyone rushed into the elevator. The tight distance made the atmosphere a little awkward. Soo-min remembered Min-won's behavior earlier. She didn't want to miss the opportunity to hurt Ji-won, so she begins to attract him. Not surprising that the scumbag is a little excited by Soo-min's attack. Just because Hi-Jon nailed the document vertically, she was scolded by the needle manager. Everyone knew Hi-Jon was the one being led by Ms. Jong. Manager Kim's harsh words were like a slap in the face. Jong Soo-min immediately winked at Ms. Jong, told Ji-won to hurry up and get Ms. Jong some coffee, and then she wanted to become a full-time employee to manage Kim to look over her proposal, even openly inviting him outside to get some air. Everyone felt very uncomfortable with her behavior. Ji-won felt it was time to win over, so she reached out to Ms. Jong hoping that Ms. Jong would take a look at the project. However, Soo-min happened to see this scene. She also remembered the name of the single-parent household project. After a while, Ji-won and Hi-Jon ate cake together and drank coffee. Hi-Jon invites Ji-won out for the weekend, but Soo-min also makes an appointment with her. But Ji-won thinks she won't ask Hi-Jon what class appointment it is, so she has to go. Going there to see her first love again and feeling regret, so she could move on with her life. In fact, at school, Ji-won does not stand out very well, nor does he know where his first love is doing. Is there any reason for her to rediscover that embarrassing past? Hi-Jon encourages Ji-won. If Ji-won doesn't go, it will forever be a deplorable past. But if she could go and correct it, it would be history. This afternoon Ji-won met Ms. Jong. She wanted to invite Ms. Jong to work with her. But Ms. Ji-young thinks that cooperation should not be done on the sidelines in the workplace environment. Manager Kim has a different view than the two. Ji-won candidly said that Manager Kim didn't even read through it. It turns out that Manager Kim has never seen Ji-won and Ms. Yang's projects. He just pretended to read it, but Ms. Jong didn't believe it. Ji-won can only tell Jong the truth. It turns out that Manager Kim is no different from a pervert who distinguishes working women with boyfriends and married women. Since he attacked Ms. Jong and was rejected by Ms. Jong, he has frequently denied Ms. Yang's plans. The reason he was promoted to manager was because Ms. Yang's proposed project had his name on it. Ji-won decides to resubmit the proposal as it was. If Ms. Jong was sure that Manager Kim hadn't read it, the two would have cooperated. Ms. Jong had had enough, and she agreed to bet. The next day, Ji-won submits a proposal to Manager Kim, not expecting Manager Kim to thoroughly research. Suddenly he felt something wasn't right. So in front of everyone, he loudly scolded Ji-won. The proposal you gave me last time was much better than this. Despite his loss of face, Ji-won is happy because it's enough to prove that Manager Kim didn't read through the proposal. Ms. Jong didn't dare to believe it. Now she understood why things didn't go her way. At this time, the two officially became partners. Of course, there was Hi-Ron. However, So-min sees the three having fun. She sensed something very suspicious. So she quietly walked over to Manager Kim's desk and looked over Ji-won's suggestion. Tonight, she also asked Kim's manager to drink, deliberately provoking him, saying that Ji-won attended Korea-Australia University very ambitiously. Ji-won even thinks that he doesn't appreciate the proposal and has no taste. Manager Kim immediately gets angry, so Min gives him a glass of wine to calm down. The conversation has changed and the proposed project is talked about. So Min wants to develop with Manager Kim. She thinks it will be very successful. Manager Kim didn't even have time to react, so Min looked cute. It only took a few seconds to manipulate. He even implied the two were more than just colleagues. Manager Kim heard this, his eyes filled with tears, which couldn't help but make him think of a happy family. Just as the joy of fatherhood, his tears are unconsciously shed. He happily agrees to So-min's offer. On the other hand, Min-won is a little angry with his friend. He already likes So-min, but since she is his girlfriend's best friend, he can't try. At the same time, he only sees Ji-won as a marital liar to take care of family matters. Ji-won is still at work, when she suddenly sees a box of fruits on the table. There is also a card written by So-min. The fruit is a pair of earrings. Hopefully Ji-won will wear it to class reunion. A moment later, Ji-won is about to leave. She receives a text from So-min tonight she will spend the night at Ji-won's house. It turns out that when Ji-won was alive, she wore earrings to the barbecue restaurant when she arrived at what she found out was a class meeting. Just as she turned to leave, she ran into the school bully. So-min excitedly runs over to ask her and says that if she doesn't lie, Ji-won definitely won't come. At that time, Ji-won goes to the bathroom. She asks So-min to bring her bag. She wants to go home. At the same time, the bully goes to the bathroom to discuss Ji-won's poverty. If it wasn't for So-min, Ji-won wouldn't have been able to afford to eat at this restaurant. Ji-won immediately remembers her past being bullied at a mortal school. She hugs her legs. Our So-min is too kind. We have to take care of him. Do you see his earrings? He catches So-min's style a meter away. I can also see that it is fake. Suddenly they remembered that Ji-won hadn't come back to guess she was hiding in the bathroom. The bully goes from room to room in search. She finally finds Ji-won. You've been here all the time. Why pretend not to, you obnoxious name? Thinking of this, Ji-won is a little scared in her heart. She is texting to tell So-min not to come to the house when she suddenly receives a message from Min-won. Isn't this a chance for two bastards to come together? So she sends a message to Min-won saying she is on her way home. So-min sees Ji-won's reply with no emotion. She angrily decides not to go to Ji-won's house anymore. Ji-won has just returned home when he sees Min-won's shoes and doesn't expect him to arrive so early. Ji-won only now sees So-min's incoming message. Just as Ji-won was thinking about what to do, Min-won walked out with a towel. He actually took it off of him, and Ji-won couldn't help but grow up. The bastard Min-won has made strides to show off his body in front of Ji-won. At the moment when the doorbell rings, Ji-won randomly gets an excuse to run out, but neither of them has anyone to order fried chicken. Min-won thinks that the delivery man delivered the wrong address. Seeing that the delivery man still refused to leave, he hurriedly went to the door and told the delivery man to leave quickly. Ji-won takes the chance. He doesn't notice her, pushes him out, then quickly locks the door. A frightened Ji-won holds onto Min-won's door outside, constantly yelling for her to open the door. Ji-won sends him a message. She feels very confused when he does this. She thinks she needs some time. If it doesn't feel right, just tell her, I didn't expect this trick to work. Min-won replies that he will leave immediately. However, he leans against the door trying to explain his behavior just now. But the more he explains, the angrier he gets. He says Ji-won only has skin covered in bones and nothing to look at. After Min-won leaves the apartment tonight, the delivery man is hiding on one side. It turns out that Ji-wing, in order to save Ji-won, he deliberately arranged for the delivery man to come to Ji-won's house. At this point, Ji-won put all his clothes on the bed and looked in the mirror. However, she still couldn't choose which outfit was suitable. Ji-won opens the cosmetics drawer. Inside there is only a lipstick and a bag of eyes. Its color is really hard to describe. She suddenly receives a message from So-min. Remind Ji-won not to forget to attend the tire meeting. Ji-won knows she can't be beautiful overnight. Ji-won really doesn't know what to do. On Sunday morning, So-min continues to text Ji-won. Don't forget to wear the piercing she bought for her when she arrives at the restaurant. School bullies enthusiastically welcome So-min's arrival. Because So-min in the eyes of these people is very cute and naive. They think that So-min is often used by Ji-won. However, So-min says that Ji-won is very modest. She is also much more beautiful lately. She will be here in a while. He's coming. You guys should be cheerful when he shows up. He is going through a very difficult time. Why should So-min tell everyone that she introduced her and got Ji-won a contract job? Now that she is interested in Min-won, after hearing this, everyone is surprised. As far as they know, Min-won is the one So-min likes. So-min quickly warns everyone not to mention it to Ji-won. Why not? He is. At this moment, Ji-won walked up to them. Everyone present was stunned by her beauty, including of course her best friend So-min. It turns out that last night while Ji-won was worried about dressing, Hae-sung sent her a message and asked her out on Saturday. On Saturday, Ji-won happens to pass by the store where So-min bought the earrings. Hae-sung suddenly appears and calls out to Ji-won, startled, and drops her cracked earrings. Ji-won picks it up. She can tell it is fake, but she doesn't dare to tell Ji-won. Ji-won frankly says So-min gave it to her. At this point Hae-sung says this is fake. After that, Ji-won deliberately showed off his earrings. This is real. Yes, it's real. Ah. Then the two go to eat a Penspeed. Ji-won suddenly mentions tomorrow's class meeting, but Ji-won says she hasn't decided whether to go or not because she herself is not very dominant and has been bullied. Hae-sung was shocked after hearing this. She thinks Ji-won should ask why the bully did this to her, whether it's because the bully is crazy or if there's some good reason to not regret it later. Ji-won heard this. It made sense. She decided to listen to the whole story while she went to the bathroom. It sounds easy, but for someone like her, it is impossible overnight. Ji-won believes that if she prepares, she will not fail, so she wrapped the two dumplings and put them in her pocket. It was time for Ji-won to repay Ji-won. Hae-sung takes Ji-won to an upscale beauty salon. Hae-sung says she will use her membership card to pay, of course. Ji-won can't accept. Ji-won tells Ji-won not to worry. She then winked at the manager, who immediately replenished the coupon. It would be a pity if today it expired without being used. Ji-won's worries are also relieved, and this time she has also opened up a whole new change. Seeing herself beautiful in the mirror, Ji-won's eyes are colorlessly wet. She then goes to choose a chic outfit. After a while, Ji-won sees a familiar bag. It's the bag that So-min brought it to the day she dies. Hye-shung feels that it is very beautiful and can buy it. However, Ji-won feels that there is no need to buy it next time, because it needs to be brought to others. At the age of 7, So-min called Ji-won. In fact, Ji-won soon guessed that she wanted to borrow her proposal. When Ji-won was alive, she readily agreed without hesitation. Now Ji-won not only refuses right away, but also specifically emphasizes that the two have different positions. She has more experience, and So-min is outrageous in making her run a job at a cafe. Don't let her personal feelings get in the way of her work. Ji-won doesn't even give So-min a chance to make excuses. She directly interrupts the call. So-min is furious, and immediately sends a message to Jae-kai, who says she will buy new pair of piercings. As soon as I let my guard down, she forgets she is a loser. Back at the class meeting, everyone is shocked by Ji-won's beautiful appearance. Even So-min can't believe it. The male classmates constantly compliment Ji-won's beauty. Seeing this, the bully immediately taunts Ji-won for taking So-min's hand, which at first glance can be seen as nothing more than a loser. However, Ji-won doesn't say anything. She just reveals the full picture of the pair of hand cottons. The subtle male classmate can tell that the two of them's cotton hands are not the same. Ji-won's pair looks much better and So-min's pair looks a bit cheap. Public opinion immediately reversed. Everyone laughs at So-min wearing knockoffs. It turns out that before joining the class meeting, Hee-jong tells Ji-won when it comes to knockoffs, there are so many different levels. It can't be worthy of being compared to the real thing. There's only one reason to use it: humiliation. So Hee-jong lent Ji-won his cotton hands. Remembering this, Ji-won got up and went to the bathroom. She hasn't forgotten the purpose of going in here, ready to listen to the bullies. After a while, the school bully went in. Everything happened just like when Ji-won was alive. They found that Ji-won hadn't left the bathroom yet, so they started searching her room by room, but this time Ji-won took the initiative to kick the door and walked out. Ji-won tells the others not to bother with her, just keep talking. She is also very curious what she did to So-min in high school. Don't you know, you covet and copy everything about him. Aren't those cotton hands? You also take So-min's position? Ji-won says So-min gave it to her, then took out the gift letter and the fake hand cotton, so she bought a pair of genuine hand cottons, but she found herself still suitable for these hands. Ji-won is also curious what else she covets. Min-won Men, I heard you notice his boyfriend. There is also a guy named Eun-hong who heard So-min and he dated in high school. And it was Ji-won who caused them to break up. Even So-min said that she offered Ji-won a job, and Ji-won robbed her man. After hearing this, Ji-won couldn't help but lead her. She tells bullies when she hears part of the story to at least authenticate it first. Then Ji-won gives her identity to the bullies. She came out as an assistant manager at Ji-won, claiming she joined the company 7 years ago. So-min was recommended by her to work as an assistant manager in her second year. To be clear, it was last year that this friend went through So-min's resume. Very true to the moment that Ji-won said. Ji-won took out her phone. She called the bastard Min-won and turned on the speakerphone. I'm having a class meeting. Did you call me? Say hello to my friends? Min-won innocently introduces himself. It can also be said that Ji-won's seduction of Min-won is untrue. Ji-won confidently walks out of the toilet as soon as she takes her jacket and leaves, so Min immediately stands up and calls her back. The bullies also came out, who thought Ji-won was right, but in high school, it was Ji-won who said so Min quit coughing. Now that the conflict is up for discussion, Ji-won has nothing to worry about anymore. It is true that she has feelings for him, but So Min has never dated him. The atmosphere is suddenly eerily quiet. So Min quibbles. She knows Ji-won likes to cough, so she can't tell Ji-won that the two are dating. What are you talking about? You said I told you to leave him. That's something I shouldn't know. So Min changes the story again, saying it's a secret relationship so he can't speak. Do I know that? You say. The bully immediately defends So Min, shouting that Ji-won is so formidable, his temper is so erratic without you. You're like that and I didn't make it hard for you back then. You forgot how you tortured me for 3 years. Ji-won didn't understand, even heard all the explanations and looked at her name. And still say he doesn't like his temperament. What if yours is fake, like the fake bag you brought tonight? The bully was furious, and she said she bought a 12-month installment with the first month. Then what should I do? You should say sorry. I'm sorry. You're the one who should apologize to me. Because she had been believing So Min and bullying Ji-won for 3 years. Now she wants to do this in a meeting and doesn't want to apologize just because she wants to bully Ji-won. However, the bully doesn't want to hear this nonsense. She just wants to know if Eun-ho and So Min are dating. At this moment, Eun-ho suddenly appears. He personally admits that he has never dated So Min. At the same time, the president urges Ji-hun to get married quickly, but Ji-won says that he already has someone he likes. Since he was a child, he had listened to his grandfather's arrangement. This time he wanted to make his own decision, saying in the conversation between the two grandchildren was very uncomfortable. Grandpa then asks the secretary to investigate who his grandson is falling in love with. the sooner he learns the situation, the better. It turns out that a few days ago, Ji-hun contacted Eun-ho asking him to go to the whirlwind meeting and resolve some misunderstandings. It will be very helpful for Ji-won. Thinking of this, Ji-hun was a little uneasy, and he drove to the venue where the whirlwind meeting was held. Overseeing Eun-ho holding Ji-hun's hand, he suddenly shouts loudly and says he likes Ji-hun after Ji-hun leaves the third grade meeting. The bully takes turns asking Soo-min. However, Soo-min quips, Ji-hun is promoted faster than him. But the bully is not a fool if she was promoted before her. How could she be the one who introduced Ji-hun to work? The bully on the side is even more angry because in order to ask Soo-min for the secret of finding a job, he buys Soo-min countless meats. Now that she hears that she got the job through an introduction, the bully temporarily ignores these things, asking Soo-min to clarify her date with Eun-ho. In fact, Soo-min has no contact with Eun-ho. She also wonders why Eun-ho came to the class meeting. You guys still talk about it when we were kids. We're 31 now, let's go. How can school bullies ignore it so easily? Soo-min had been cheating the whole time, including giving imitations to Ji-hun Soo-min. Somehow they kept talking about these things. The bully guesses that Soo-min is trying to harm Ji-hun because of her that Ji-hun was criticized for during school. He even said that Ji-hun had robbed her boyfriend, taken her position and wanted everything from her. I didn't tell you to insult him, you bullied him not to hurt me. The bullies feel so creative. Soo-min is nothing more than a promiscuous child. Soo-min noticed that there was a slight loss of control, and she turned and went to the bathroom. She is infuriated by the bullies. She herself feels that she has done nothing wrong. Soo-min calls Ji-hun, but no one answers. By the time Soo-min returns to the party, everyone has left. No one even helped her look at her bag. In other words, Soo-min was exactly like Ji-hun back then. On the other hand, Eun-ho has admitted that he likes Ji-hun as soon as Ji-hun doesn't know what to do. Ji-hun took out his phone and called her. He needs her help. It's about the corporation's advertising budget. Ji-hun looks at Eun-ho. She finally agrees to Ji-hun's request. However, the two still exchange phone numbers with each other after a long time. After Ji-hun leaves, Eun-ho turns around and sees Ji-hun's expressions immediately harden. Seems to know what the other party is thinking. Transitions Ji-hun and Ji-hun go to the gallery. Ji-hun has made a bold proposal, but the group remains very conservative and thinks it is too early to invest. He hoped Ji-hun could support his idea when he entered the gallery. Ji-hun relied on his memory. She knew this project would definitely be done in the future. She couldn't help but appreciate Ji-hun. This is Director Kwang, a very difficult person. He is like Manager Kim, is no different from a pervert. Don't shake hands with Ji-hun. Instead praise Ji-hun for being smart. It's more fun to recruit such a beautiful girl to work. Of course, Director Kwang vehemently opposed Ji-hun's new idea. He felt that it was all indecent content. In fact, he was just pretending not to understand. Because to alleviate the embarrassment, Ji-hun on the side immediately explained. Most likely because it was his first time on this page. The first time she visited the page she found him appetizing. Over time, it will suggest content that interests him, but Director Kwang thought he was being criticized, so he was very angry. Ji-hun's job here is to smile like a flower knowing his fate and close his mouth. Ji-hun emphasized that he called this promising employee today to hear her opinion. After saying that, he used his identity to protect Ji-hun. Director Kwang naturally did not dare to get angry with President Do's nephew. He can only take out his anger on the smiling employee on the way home. Ji-hun warns Ji-hun not to get used to having to rely on anyone else. All she needs is to recognize the good. Ji-hun is amused by Ji-hun's playfulness. She occasionally laughs. At this time, she receives a call from Soo-min, but she doesn't answer. Later, Ji-hun receives a text from Eun-ho to see her again after all this time, so he can't calm down. Ji-hun next to him saw Ji-hun happy. After seeing the message, he was a little unhappy. Very quickly, the two went downstairs to Ji-hun's house. The two saw Min-won's silhouette. Ji-hun quickly adjusts her seat. She tries not to be detected by him, but from the outside it is completely impossible to see what's in the car. Just when Ji-hun is excited, she sees Soo-min in front of her, immediately lying on her back. Min-won walks over to where Soo-min is sitting. The two stand together in front of Ji-hun's door. Only now that they know that the door password has been changed. Min-won reveals his evil nature, stares at Soo-min. He then takes his shirt and puts it on Soo-min. In fact, both parties have a purpose. Min-won wants to know more about Soo-min, and Soo-min wants to use this bastard to take revenge on Ji-hun. On the other hand, Ji-hun takes Ji-hun to a riverbank. She was thinking about how to explain her strange behavior just now. Ji-hun tells Ji-hun that although Min-won and she go on a date at work, she doesn't want to talk about her private life. Unexpectedly, Ji-hun didn't even ask him to tell Ji-hun as long as she made such wise choices. In fact, Ji-hun recently thought back to how she spent her life pleasing others, so much so that she no longer knew who she was. Now she is planning to learn how to make red rice containers, has not learned to decorate the interior, learned to defend herself. Ji-hun heard this, and he suggested that he could teach Ji-hun. Ji-hun suddenly burst out laughing. She just didn't picture that look. Ji-hun feels underestimated. He has a habit of taking off his glasses. Ji-hun happily tells Ji-hun that instead of wearing glasses, why don't he try on contact lenses? At the same time, Soo-min expresses her heart to Min-won. She feels that Ji-hun acts very strangely, feeling like keeping her distance from her. Friendship is not the same anymore. Min-won, after hearing this, also wonders if Ji-hun has something to do with Ji-hun. At this time, Soo-min looked pitiful and said to Min-won very sincerely, if she hadn't seen him today, she wouldn't know how to deal with this. You're the cutest guy, Min-won. How can you stand this? Quickly picking up food to reduce concentration, the two of them pick up a piece of pen together. At this point, Min-won even thinks of the name of her future child. At this point, Ji-hun takes Hee-jong home. Before leaving, he advises Ji-hun to meet many people before deciding to get married. Ji-hun mistakenly thinks he is a very airy person. Ji-hun hears that, he is speechless. Hesitating for a long moment, he still couldn't explain what he wanted to express. However, Ji-hun's worried expression made Ji-hun laugh. After entering the house, Ji-hun receives a call from Soo-min, but she still doesn't pick up the phone. Soo-min then sends a text explaining that she really doesn't understand why they did it at the class meeting. Ji-hun lazily notices that she is about to wash her face when she receives a call from Min-won. However, when Ji-hun answered the phone, Soo-min's sound came from the other end of the line. Ji-hun immediately heard the national machine. Now Ji-hun only wishes for one thing. Min-won and Soo-min get married quickly. At this time, Eun-ho also called. Since graduation, the two have never contacted again after many years. It turns out that when they were in high school, they had a big misunderstanding, and from then on they no longer talk to each other. Soo-min then confesses that she told Eun-ho Ji-hun to have feelings for him. Ji-hun mistakenly thinks he likes Eun-ho, which makes him feel bad. Thinking of this, the two couldn't help but laugh. However, Eun-ho confesses that it was Ji-hun who rejected him, who still has the letter. Ji-hun offers to meet, and at the same time, remember to bring a reply the next morning. Ji-hun's appearance attracts all eyes of surprise from the beginning of the experience. Ji-hun is grateful to Hee-jong for helping her change her appearance. The most incensed is Min-won, who has never seen his girlfriend so beautiful, anxious to take a bite of Ji-hun. However, in Ji-hun's eyes, their manners look very cordial. Ji-hun even smiled so brightly, he accidentally bumped into some products. Soo-min hurriedly bent down to pick up the product and took the opportunity to flatter. However, Ji-hun didn't even look at her, instead he walked in front of Ji-hun. He remarked that Ji-hun's outfit didn't seem appropriate for today's work. However, Hee-jong felt it was a good fit. She asks if Ji-hun is criticizing Ji-hun. Ji-hun doesn't even have time to react. Ji-hun suddenly finds out that he is not wearing glasses today. Soo-min also comes forward and flatters but is interrupted by Ji-hun. His girlfriend suddenly becomes extraordinarily beautiful. Min-won receives a lot of praise, but he is also a little nervous, so he immediately calls Ji-hun to go out and talk. He wants to lay claim as soon as he is intending to kiss Ji-hun. She quickly ran out of coffee and he thankfully wasn't hot coffee. He immediately ran to change his pants. Just when Soo-min has something to tell Ji-hun to admit that Soo-min's lying skills are very good. She may have made a mistake, but she is also easily mistaken. If Ji-hun hadn't closed once, she would have trusted and forgiven Soo-min. However, this time Ji-hun wants revenge in his own way. Ji-hun thinks that Soo-min has no reason to lie when he wants to be a bad person, but only crazy people do it. Soo-min's face changed markedly, and she pretended to happily agree with Ji-hun's words. However, it doesn't stop there. Ji-hun feels that bullies always criticize her for strange things. But this time she won't let it go because she's no longer a high school student. Ji-hun plans to meet Soo-min and ask her everything Soo-min fears after hearing this. Ji-hun tells Soo-min not to worry about her half, now she really won't let it go. Soo-min intentionally mentions Min-won, afraid he doesn't like it if Ji-hun meets another man. Ji-hun heard immediately that her boyfriend wasn't that kind of person. She also deliberately said Min-won's stock skyrocketed and made a lot of money. Soo-min's eyes lit up after hearing this. At work, Soo-min used honorifics when calling Ji-hun, then wanted to invite everyone to eat chicken. However, Ms. Jong had to go pick up Ji-hun's son and had to go see the client. Hee-jong is the only one who wants to go but is ignored by her. Before the elevator closed, Ji-hun rushed over. He basically wanted to wait for him to leave. But seeing that Ji-hun was also inside, he decided to intervene. Everyone in the elevator constantly compliments Ji-hun on Min-won's luck. Although the sound is not loud, Ji-hun's expression seems very harsh. Soo-min is actually very jealous. After getting out of the elevator, Ji-hun can't help but call Ji-hun back. He was curious why she was dressed like this today for work. But after thinking back, he felt that this question was irrelevant, as his heart could not overcome the obstacle. He turned around and said that he had worn contact lenses today as Ji-hun told him. So Ji-hun is wondering if Ji-hun dressed like this because of someone else. Ji-hun tells Ji-hun that the first time she wears clothes like this, it feels very comfortable. People also start treating her differently. From now on, for her sake, she will no longer dress too chic. Ji-hun is happy that Ji-hun thinks for himself. The relationship between the two gradually becomes closer. While waiting for the bus, Ji-hun remembers Min-won's words. He thinks Ji-hun likes Ji-hun plus Ji-hun's words earlier. At this time, Ji-hun sees Hee-jong, who seems very happy that she has bought a bag. Ji-hun wants to walk over to say hello but sees Ji-hun come out. The relationship between the two is much closer than both superiors and subordinates. Ji-hun remembers when he was alive. Kim's manager accused Hee-jong and Ji-hun of having an inappropriate relationship, which led to Hee-jong's dismissal. So Ji-hun concludes that they are lovers. In fact, Hee-jong is President Doo's niece and Ji-hun's biological sister. Tonight, Ji-hun was taking a shower staring at his chest. The heart shape on him is identical to the heart on Ji-hun's love sheet. As it turns out, at Ji-hun's funeral in 2023, he witnessed with his own eyes the police arresting Min-won and So-min. It was then that he realized that the person he loved had been unusually short. Later, he heard the bullies talking in the funeral room. So-min cheated on them at the Whirlwind meeting 10 years ago. They attacked Ji-hun and felt very remorseful. And even the story of Ji-hun telling Eun-ho to leave So-min. Eun-ho also happens to be at the funeral. Personally, he tries to admit that he has never been in a relationship with So-min. The grieving Ji-hun has drunk a lot of alcohol. What he hears about Ji-hun's life is pitiful. On the way home, Ji-hun unfortunately gets into a serious car accident. After waking up, there is a heart shape on his chest. He discovers that he has traveled about 10 years ago. He decides to start a second life. This section here is the end. Thank you for your support during this time. Wish you a lot of health to support your heart. See you in the next sections. Hello and see you. Bye bye. Please spend 3 seconds subscribing to the channel to follow the next good videos.